2 is the drummer.
Yeah.
Is 1 the guitarist?
Yeah.
And of course 3 is the bassist.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Classic.
I don't like it, but that's cool. The world doesn't revolve around me.
Yeah.
Andrew Clark says, Sleep Token is metal for people who don't like metal.
All right, well, that one might be true.
It's somewhere between Britney Spears and Despised Icon.
If you like Sleep Token, but all your friends wear battle vests, you could be like, I'm not selling them. I like this shit.
Do you think they would be at a less successful level if they didn't do the mask thing? Jahoyoy says, I've never been that into them, but I got locked in the walk-in freezer at my old job on an overnight shift for 2 hours. A few days after Take Me Back to Eden came out. Was listening to the album at the time, and now Aqua Regia gives me Vietnam flashbacks.
He was literally dangling like a cold cut.
Yeah, exactly. No, stop it.
Marlo.
You know, you're at a party, you're talking to a girl, and she goes, I love metal. And then you go, oh yeah, and you're thinking Despised Icon, Dying Fetus, and she goes, I love Sleep Token, and you're like...
I was a big hater of the last album, but I really like the new stuff.
It's not metal. I'm dangling like cold cuts.
Boy, them bro got my bro dangling, look.
All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Diggy Dine Show. Hope you're all doing well on this beautiful, warm, cloudy day here in Washington State.
I hate warm clouds.
It's a nice day. It's a good day. Hope you're all doing well at home today. And if you're not, I hope your day gets better. Remember we did the good bands with bad singers? The thumbnail I did for that video, we showed Vessel from Sleep Token. I just put it on the thumbnail because I was like, that's a band that a lot of people say they don't like his voice, so this would make
it's like
sense.
The poster child for this conversation.
For sure. I don't think we've ever really talked about Sleep Token on this channel, so I polled the audience from Facebook and YouTube and everywhere, and I asked you guys what your opinion of Sleep Token is. And we're going to go over those comments today and then give our own opinions of Sleep Token. I'm dangling like cold cuts.
Boy, them bro got my bro dangling like some cold cuts here.
That's my favorite line he's ever done.
So cool.
I'm dangling like cold cuts.
It goes against my whole, like, any line can be cool as long as you sing it with conviction, because he sings it with full conviction, and I still don't like the line.
Mexi Chan Man 94 says, I heard them described as metal for Disney adults. Oh. And honestly, that is one of the most accurate things I've ever heard in my life.
That is kind of wild.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, I haven't heard that either, but I guess that does make sense. Of like, I don't necessarily think that their like original sound is that, but what it has become of like, oh, I see the association of like how people act about Sleep Token is how like people act about Disney.
I could see that.
Like, yes. I don't necessarily think their music is why that happened, but it's like the people that followed into it heavily.
Even calling them metal, did they claim metal as a genre? Because I think that's the hang up a lot of people have with Sleep Token is you have people that are like, it's not metal, which I understand that, but it's like a branch off of a branch off of metal, which I can see that as well. But that to me is where people get hung up on the most, is where you know, people calling them metal, and it's like, I don't even know if they call themselves metal.
No,
I think just they do.
Occasionally, like when a song calls for it, they'll have like a micro breakdown.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's about, and then like obviously the, you know, not electronic, but the electric guitars and stuff and drums, like it feels more rock metal because it has like metalcore riffs sometimes, I guess. For core music are getting the treatment that Ghost gets for like heavy metal. Yeah. It's like they're the core.
Well, a lot of people refer to them as like a heavy Ghost.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of comments. Actually, but I will say I was pleasantly surprised by a lot of people's responses because they were like, you know, hey, you know, I don't like it, but if someone out there does, good for them.
Dude, that's how it should always be.
Much less hater-ish talk, at least in the comments that I saw. Yeah. You know what I mean? Much less people being like, they just fucking suck and I hate them and they should go away. It was like, I don't like them, but hey, someone does, that's cool. Yeah.
I mean, they're sick. Their new album's pretty great.
I haven't listened to the whole new album, but I've heard the singles. I like the songs. I don't go out of my way to listen to the songs. I don't put them in any of my playlists, but when they come on, I'm like, that's a cool song, and then I move on. I want to talk about this a little bit. A band that blows up which really they kind of blew up because of the ending of The Summoning, right? Because a bunch of TikTok baddies were clipping it and like
got
putting
on
it
that radar, and it went super
and
viral.
It's just that one part that is not metal at all.
Yeah,
it's
funky
my love, that part or whatever. That's like what kind of blew them up. And then you listen to, because I remember trying to look for the song and I was like, where is this song? It's at the end of a 7-minute song. It's a 20-second section, and then they get all this hype like out of nowhere instantly, and they just get massive. Do you think, like, if a band doesn't live up to the hype others put onto them, is that the band's fault?
No, never. I don't think so. I think people do that with everything. Of like, I see that because I'm a big movie guy, and that happens constantly with movies. Of people label it as like, or it gets labeled from the studios like the scariest movie ever, or like the best movie of the year, and then people instantly are like not going to love it now, because there's like, well, is it the best thing I've ever seen? And then so people are, I feel like do that with bands a lot too. Of like, what's all this hype about? Everyone loves it, and then you listen and you're not world blown by it, so you're like, well, this isn't that great.
It's like anything. If people shove something down your throat so much, you're just gonna hate it no matter what it is. It could be really good, but you're not gonna like it if everyone is talking about it and being like, listen to this band, listen to this band.
You're like, you're missing out on it, dude.
Yeah, it's like, I've heard this 100 times in a week, like, shut up.
It's
and
like
then
the more people tell you to do it too, the more justified you feel in not doing it.
But that's not the band's fault.
No.
That's not the band's fault at all. It's just like a reality of the situation when something blows up so fast.
And I also really love what they ended up doing with their newer album. Like, all the lyrics are covering how crazy it's been to blow up, and kind of how it's not what they wanted. People are like obsessing over him and trying to find out his real name, and he's just like, I just want to be an artist, dude. Like,
isn't it known like who he is?
I think it is, but it's still like he's never addressed it. So
are we not supposed to talk about it?
That's what it seems like.
We're not supposed to admit we know
all
who
of the
it
other
is.
members are like very well known, and they do like interviews and stuff, but Vessels is still like, I'm not going to address it, but I'm pretty sure people know who he is, because he says a line in that song where people scream his real name to try to get a rise out of him during shows, and I was like, okay, so people like know, but he's never, I don't think, claimed it, so it's still kind of vague.
It does suck when you're trying to do a thing and then no one lets you do the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
It's like how Slipknot felt when they first met Nardwuar.
They got hyped so much, and then they have this like mystery with the mask thing or whatever, and then everyone's talking about him. All these baddies are dancing to the songs, and then when all these other people listen to the music, they're like, this?
Like, why are people obsessed with this?
Like, this is what you're hyped about? And it's like, it's not that it's bad, it's just they probably expect it to be this like insane,
crazy new thing they'd never heard before.
Yeah, which to some people it is.
I was a big hater of the last album, but I really like the new stuff. Lyrically, it's like really, really cool. I thought it was like such a cool side to hear somebody talk about that side of fame from like behind the scenes, and it was I was like, this is like way more human and vulnerable, and like felt very cool, and it's not like, talking about the make a bad girl go good or whatever type of thing, or good girl go bad. It just felt way more way more earnest, and like I could resonate with it a lot more. It made me want to listen to the songs, because I was like reading and listening, and then I'm like, oh, now it's stuck in my head. So the new one hit me a lot harder than anything else they've done, that's for sure.
George says, honestly, I think 90% of the hate they get is because people love to shoehorn them into the metal genre. If they were kept separate from those conversations, I think a lot of people would either not pay attention to them or appreciate the music for what it is, rather than what they think it should be as metal. Do you think like elitist metalheads are annoyed that they're using elements of metal at all? Do you think that's something that's irritating them?
More so about that, like, metalheads want to like keep the fan bases separate. Maybe if they're like, they don't love who Sleep Token fans are or something, they're like, no, we don't claim that. That's not our world. Like, that's pop fucking stuff. Like, I could see that being it. Like, don't cross the lines. Well, they're not a part of our team.
That's what we experienced 10, 15, 20 years ago with bands like A Day to Remember or whatever.
Yeah, that's why the term mallcore started.
Yeah, so I think that might be why metalheads are annoyed a little bit when they're like, I want to talk about Deicide, and then someone's like, I like Sleep Token and Bad Omens, and they're like, that's not metal, I guess, but yeah.
That's a good point.
Jahoyoy says, I've never been that into them, but I got locked in the walk-in freezer at my old job on an overnight shift for 2 hours a few days after Take Me Back to Eden came out. Was listening to the album at the time, and now Aqua Regia gives me Vietnam flashbacks.
He was literally dangling like a cold guy.
Yeah, exactly. No, stop it.
Marlo.
Please stop. I can't do it.
That's so funny.
Jay Bills the Kid says, sometimes doing the whole "you don't know what we look like" trope gives huge edgelord vibes. I think their music suffers from their image, but they are insanely talented, so I gotta give them credit. So this is interesting because he's saying that they're suffering because of the mask thing, because of the image, that they would be better off without that. What do you think?
I feel like that point itself is like against itself, because the idea is that like if we saw who they were, you wouldn't care what they looked like. Like there would still be conversations about like how hot Vessel is and whatnot. Like there would
he was,
or like how not high, like there would still be a conversation about, because there's the vocalist doing all these sensual, sultry
but if
singing.
the music is good enough, it doesn't matter.
Well, it'll still be talked about, though, I think is the point I'm trying to make, is that I don't think them having masks or not would stop people from like talking about how they look, because once you get to a certain level, like fan bases love to be like, this guy's hot, this guy,
sure.
put him on the wall or whatever.
Do you think they would be at a less successful level if they didn't do the mask thing?
Probably a little bit, as far as like post blowing up, because that song blew up from a fucking like a still video, or like a streaming video. So that was just the music blowing up initially. But then their further stardom was probably people were like, who is this band? Saw the mystery thing and then was, looked into it and became curious now. And also I think it's good because it's like as soon as you see that, it's that band. Mm-hmm. It's not like when we did this band aged in 10 years, like, if they still had masks on, you'd be like, oh, that's fucking Sleep Token. You wouldn't be confused at all, which is nice. But also I don't think that they're like necessarily a bad thing ever.
Well, and that's what I was talking about too. If your gimmick is more hype than your music, you have that disconnect. Yeah. So you have to kind of, meet the level of hype your image is trying to sell.
It's true. And and I think too, a thing with Sleep Token, a lot of people know is they're like the lore of what they started the band about like the music is supposed to be a token to the god sleep. And it's like, that's a cool like Lovecraftian thing, and them being, he's a vessel for the music, and having like the costumes, and it's like very culty. Like I feel like it fits the vibe. So like if that is servicing the music,
Yeah, right. JJ says, Sleep Token is like the metal equivalent of the kid who sat at lunch with a Legend of Zelda Triforce shirt and cargo shorts alone. And then a response from Daniel, so actually kind of dope if given a chance. Gotcha.
Fair enough.
Yeah, kind of fair.
Kind of got his
fair
ass.
enough. Kind of, yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you actually get to like if you dive into that more, you actually are like, oh, there's like,
you're like, dude,
substance
this guy knows
here.
Everything about Zelda. This is awesome.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. Shane Lamb says Sleep Token is like coworker metal, which is funny because he's referring to it in a way that is famous, because like it used to be,
the original term
for coworker music
was like Imagine Dragons.
And
like that.
Stuff you would hear in the mainstream as being like, oh, have you heard this? You know,
like your buddy being like, have you listened to NF?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Everyone knows NF.
That makes sense. I mean, but is that a bad thing? You're so successful
no.
that like you're mainstream known by people that do not listen to heavy music at all. That's not the band's fault.
Yeah, and they're still gonna be huge either way.
Andrew Clark says Sleep Token is metal for people who don't like metal.
All right, well, that one might be true. That one might be the most accurate stereotyping. That's totally fair.
Because it's really pretty.
Yeah, it's good entry level of like
pretty metal.
Mm-hmm. Like you listen to metal and your partner's trying to be like supportive. They'll be like, "Oh, okay, I like Sleep Token. Like is that metal? I like that."
Right. It's somewhere between Britney Spears and Despised Icon.
That's every genre of music ever.
It's somewhere.
Everything could be in those windows.
Trenton Woodard says, I think they're like Nickelback. People love to hate them, but secretly listen to them.
Totally fair.
Do you think that in 10 years, people are going to treat Sleep Token the way they treat Nickelback, or way they treated Nickelback? So like
we were wrong about Sleep Token type of thing.
Yeah, like do you know how like people are like, oh, coming around to Creed, they're coming around to, you know, Nickelback and all like divorced dad music, whatever you want to call it, and being like, no, this actually slaps. Do you think in 10 or 15 years people are going to do that about Sleep Token?
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question, because it's like every time I try to dispute that, I'm like, well, no, it's just like a biasy talking about like it being the rock, dad rock stuff of like we've missed out on that for a while, but like in 10, 20 years, maybe that's not, you know, popular anymore. So It is like people are missing that sound and then being like, hey, remember Sleep Token, man? Like, I wish we had more stuff like that right now.
Adam Thomas says, it touches the deepest parts of my grief in a way nothing else has. I don't really like the imagery or the fan base, but the music speaks to me in a specific way emotionally. I think is at the end of the day what most bands want their fans to think and experience the music and be touched in a way that it elevates their life more so than anything else.
Yeah, that's when music is the most powerful, when it actually connects with you.
Gerardo Hernandez says, Sleep Token brought the feeling back like when Korn first hit the scene. It was still metal, but in a different way. How do you feel about comparing Sleep Token to Korn?
Well, that makes no sense. But as far as like, I think what he's trying to say.
But do you see what he's trying to say?
Yeah, because like when new metal was first dropping, you were like, yo, as a metalhead, am I allowed to like this type of thing? Yes. And that's what probably Sleep Token, like if you like Sleep Token, but all your friends wear battle vests, you could be like, I'm not telling them I like this shit. Yeah, I get it. It's just, I feel like on the surface, it sounds crazy when you're like Korn. But I get, like them bringing like a twist to what was popular at the time, and then it kind of starting this new wave of like, oh, well, I like metal with like rap vibes or
also,
beats and stuff.
If genres never evolved, they would become incredibly boring.
Totally.
Imagine like for 25, 50 years, we just have metal and it never evolves. And then every time a new record comes out, you're like, wonder what it's going to sound like.
Yeah, that would suck for everything.
Like you can't have the same forever. It's going to become just like, there's nothing interesting about this. It's the same thing I've heard for the last 20 years. Like, it has to evolve in one way or another. Now, the stuff that evolves in a more pop way, a more pretty auto-tune singing kind of way, resonates more with the general public that are not metalheads, that are not musicians.
Yeah.
So it does become popular, which probably annoys metalheads because they're like, no, that stuff sucks. Zach Pyron says, I love that they are bringing metal-ish music to a broader audience, but it's not my thing. Either way, I'm never going to hate on someone else's success. Every now and then I try and listen to a different song by them. I like this comment. Yeah. This is like one of the best all-around comments that I saw. I love that they're being a gateway for people to listen to other types of metal, which you need those.
Yeah.
You can't just take someone who's listening to Justin Timberlake, show them Waking the Cadaver, and expect them to instantly be like, I love this.
Yeah, like, oh, this makes sense.
Sure, some people might, but
they'll be like, this is a lot, man.
There's a path. There's a journey. And if they can go from that and incorporate all this other beautiful type of music, that's awesome. And if Sleep Token gets a ton of people to listen to Deicide, to listen to Despised Icon, sweet. Kevin Stephenson says, they don't speak to me, so I don't listen to them, but I love that they exist and other lives are made better for it.
Completely. I thought he was doing a joke comment of like, they don't talk to me, so I ignore them. They won't return my calls. I just fucked that man.
Yeah, Vessel. Yeah, let me tell you about Vessel. I knew him.
It's at a show. Vessel.
Yeah,
it's Kevin. It's Kevin from Second Period.
Yeah, why is he listening to me?
I know it's you.
I know it's you.
Shut the fuck up, Kevin.
Clayton O'Donnell says it's meant for people who read spicy books.
That's fair. I mean, that's a pretty broad term at this point.
Book Talk probably loves Sleep Token.
Book Talk is horny.
They probably have made so much fan fiction about Vessel.
Oh, yeah. I guarantee there's, like, Sleep Token book markers.
Do you think people are going into, like, crazy episodes of, like, Psychosis, thinking my neighbor is Vessel?
Oh, that'd be
I have
awesome.
to prove it. Like, they have a tall, skinny neighbor, and then they're just like, I know it's Vessel.
My secret obsession with my famous neighbor.
Yeah, exactly. Some kind of craziness.
Are you Vessel?
Cam Holder says, it's just The Weekend, but for astrology girls. It's just alternative weekend.
Yeah.
Gothic weekend.
Isn't The Weekend for astrology girls?
That's what I was going to say, too. I was like, yeah, he might also be.
Also, he has the perfect name. I hope he became a cameraman. His name is Cam Holder.
Cam Holder?
Hey, Cam Holder, we need you. Come hold this camera.
All right. Joshua Anderson says, I think they're very talented and I really dig certain elements of their music. That being said, I think their fans overrate them and their haters underrate them. Personally, I think they're fine. But I think that goes for any band. If you have super fans, to them that they're going to be the best thing in the world, and to their haters, they're going to think they suck. That's pretty much any type of popular thing ever. But
it's going to be split.
At the end of the day, I would say like what you like and don't pigeonhole stuff too much. Don't get caught up on calling them metal, or if if a friend of yours calls them metal, don't beat them up about, if a girl you're talking to calls them metal, like,
if one of your friends is like, Snoop Dogg is not metal, the best response, just go, okay.
Yeah. and
just watch them crumble. It's like, well, what do you mean? Okay, they're not metal.
You're supposed to fight me here. Like, I don't know. Sleep Token, to me, I think they're fine. Like I said,
they're fine.
They're fine. I might have a very different opinion if I saw them live. Mm-hmm. That's another thing I will say before ending this video, is that I have not seen them live and I have not listened to every single song that they have put out. If I did that, maybe I would have a different opinion, and maybe I will do that and come back maybe for part 2 and then give a different opinion, do a deep dive. But I've heard probably 10, 15 songs, and I've heard them many times. I've listened to them a lot over the last few years. They're fine. I think they're good. They're a fine band. I understand, because they blew up so fast and they're so popular, anything that does that will get a lot of hate. Yeah. That's just how it is.
Why is this popular?
Yeah, that's just how you can't make everyone happy. No. There will be haters, and that happens. But what do you think?
I think they should add a 5th member and name him 6.
Why?
Because they have 1, 2, and 3. And so if they add a 5th guy and call him 6, that'd be pretty funny.
What about the 4th guy?
Well, it's Vessel. He doesn't abide by the numbers, I guess.
He's not implied. Okay, so 2 is the drummer.
Yeah.
Is 1 the guitarist?
Yeah.
And of course 3 is the bassist.
Yeah.
Of course.
Classic. And then, Best went around the room and he said, you're gonna be 1 and you're gonna be 2. I mean, come on. Come on.
3, I guess.
Yeah, it's like he's already wearing a 3 shirt. Right, he's like, I know.
You're picking the dodgeball team. You first. Definitely you. And
who's left?
I guess.
I guess us 3 versus you.
Oh man.
So get a 5th member, name him 6.
Yeah.
Everything will be fixed.
Oh my gosh.
Fix everything.
I would like to see them live.
Yeah, they look
Genuinely,
insane.
I would.
Every time I see a friend post a video of seeing them live, I'm like, this looks insane. Like huge.
Because
production.
I also might see them live and walk away being like, that was fucking cringe.
Oh yeah, that
like
too.
I might be like, that was fucking dumb. That was so stupid.
It'd be cool if I could enjoy that, but there was a person screaming in my ear the whole time.
Or like you go see him live and then you realize how much his voice sounds like, all
that more love.
So that was another thing, talking about his voice. Mm-hmm. It's not my favorite voice.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little too cartoonish.
Yes.
With like the cursive singing thing.
There are times where it's like really good, and then some songs I'm like, it's the same thing I feel with Motionless in White, is that like the one song Afterlife, amazing song. I love that fucking song. But like the song Sign of Life, I think it's called, he almost cartoonishly sounds like Benjamin from Breaking Benjamin. And that to me takes me out of the song, because now I think he's trying too hard to emulate someone else. And whether that's the case or not, but when I listen to him just do his thing, Chris, Chris, I'm like, this is sick. You know what I mean? So I don't know, maybe he, like, sometimes his voice is a bit much, but it's not the worst voice. It's not my favorite, but I don't think it's terrible.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those. I definitely would get it if you're like off put by it, because it's just so insane sometimes, especially if you're passively listening to it and you just hear a part where he's like, "What are you doing?" And you're like, "Is that words, bro?" That song Jaws. You ever hear that one from a long time ago?
I don't. Maybe.
It's got those pretty white jaws. The way he says Joes.
I mean, yeah,
like, but it's like he's also got an accent. So
isn't he from the UK?
Oh, he is. Let me tell you, he's from straight out of Liverpool, Hampton, then, yeah.
So I've toured with people that talk about him, that have toured with him, and they say that he is the most like chill, just wants to sit and play video games,
nice,
and just hang out type of guy. And then like go do the thing, and then go back to the bus and just like chill.
Does he stay in costume?
I don't think so.
He's like just normal chill.
I think so. Yeah, tight. I'm pretty sure. Like, well, because no one knows it's him, right? I'm sure he doesn't go into like GA, but
that's fair.
Hanging out backstage, it's like, well, of course, people. If you're on the crew, it's him, right? Like,
that's true.
I don't think it's that deep.
You're not allowed back here, man.
Yeah, just he never takes the mask off. It's like glued to his fucking face.
It's me, Vessel.
I don't even know what I look like, to be honest.
Just a blank face there.
Yeah. Oi. All right, there it is. We've talked about Sleep Token, and if you like him, that's awesome. If you don't like him, that's cool. Go listen to something else. But yeah, I liked the discourse in this one. I feel like it was a very mature way to talk about something, and obviously there are always going to be haters to stuff, but I like this type of discourse.
Yeah, this is one of the kinder discourses I've seen.
Yeah, I don't like it, but that's cool. The world doesn't revolve around me.
Yeah, exactly.
Sweet,
Beautiful.
But yeah, if you like the video, hit the like button and subscribe to see more. And
come back around, let me see how you can make you say well.
Dangling like cold cuts. I'm dangling like cold cuts.
I'm dangling then, mate.
I do be dangling then, eh?
Oi!
Ain't it?
Stick to me.
Hey, dangling, innit?
To me.
Like cold cuts.
Like
hey, dangling, innit? Oh, yeah. Gonna go back to my trailer.
Meat's back on the menu, boys.